This poem is about dying with regret on your soul. The Food Chain by Arturo Leon. My place in the pecking order, typical of a human being, is at the top of the food chain. Hooray! The people cheer the fascist dictator at the parade being held in his honor. See the propaganda film. Everything as you'd expect, toes all in step, no leg out of place in the military march. Your men are machines, Your Eminence. The dignitary kisses the ring and congratulates the leader on his work, shaping his subjects into stills rolling out of the camera. The plump, jolly face under the star jewel crown squints. Eyes, nostrils, mouth are slits, ears gaping concavities. The stereotypical Eskimo in the animated educational program to teach about life in the Arctic, how fun it is, except he is purely, according to proponents of eugenics, white. Sprigs of blonde growth on the upper lip embellish the king's virility. His visage morphs, features serpentine. The dignitary cringes, bends wrists and hooks fingers, caught for a photograph in the process of mutating fully into a lizard, sensing for the first time the icky distinction between cold and warm blood. Eek! He is attempting to utter but can't. His throat is constricted in revilement. Behold the totem, ego, my hero, top of the food chain. Food being the substance which is force-fed animals for slaughter and sacrifice, and excess flesh is propitiatory. The idea of experience in the Western mind canon: grow to be a big, strong boy, my hero, baby on Gerber mushy green peas weaned. I make you an offer you can't refuse. The godfather, self-made man, criminal king, archetype men aspire to, pimp daddy, ostentatious ghetto fabulous jewelry and attire. Naked Nubian goddesses with afros give him pedicures and suggestively insert their fingers into his mouth as they feed him grapes. He bites playfully. Gold tooth, sleazy smile. What are you gonna give me? Nothing to do in this city can contribute to my becoming the fascist dictator of my fantasies. Boring waste of time, useless lump of shit, the self-reviler aptly dubs himself. Suffer your punishment, the masked, hairy, pot-bellied S&M gimp in the Spanish Inquisition lashes the pagan. Rat tail, fire flames, orange shadow, and dungeon gloom. Thank God for chastising me. The Western mind settles. A pink poppy flowers inside a smack syringe. Blossom green. The moment prior to the plunger being pressed. The opiate yum assuages the cell's pleasure receptors, screaming mouths to feed. The chain is Jacob's ladder, the toy. Polished blocks of wood tied together with ribbon, stamped with Hebrew characters, each its own sephira in the wheel of life of Kabbalah, which depicts samsara. At the top is Malkuth. The snake devours the pig. The fascist dictator devours the dignitary, compliments to the chef, and all. Food is a metaphor, meaning now the alimentary offering made to the spirits of the dead as the funerary rite of a chthonic religion. It isn't eaten. Its edible essence serves as the vehicle through which they may come to take the soul of the deceased away. Your mom bakes good cookies, the psychopomp says, to the junior Cub Scout camped on a starry promontory in a Salvador Dali desert. Still not speaking to me, eh? Thoth supplies the soul which is silent. Is it because you are homesick? Mute negation. Then is it because you cannot accept that you're dead yet? Again, nope. You can't remember the words to the spell of tongues from the Book of the Dead. Mute jubilation. Affirmative. Hope, can you help me? Then I'm afraid you're stuck. I can't take you on to the next stage in the afterlife until you say the magic password. You should have studied. The camper bends both his knees and extends his arms, palms up, straight out, to gesture the exasperated idea. How do you expect me to say some word? I can't even make any sound. And how am I supposed to remember an incantation from a book I never read? I'm not Egyptian. I can't understand hieroglyphics. Was it in English? If so, how come I never encountered that version, especially if I was to be tested on the material? Lastly, if I did know once the spell to transition from here out of limbo, I wouldn't remember it anyway. My life was like a dream. I can recall stuff vaguely, my identity, the general context, but as far as details, word for word, sacred texts, pshoo! I haven't the foggiest. I probably could have remembered if I had made the effort right when I woke up upon dying, but I didn't. My groggy Western mind went elsewhere. It wasn't my fault. Now let me through. This is so unfair. Wah! The fascist dictator mocks the immature gripes that are howled and wailed, mute on deaf serpent ears. The Grand Inquisitor is touring him through the dungeon. Get back! The gimp whips the emaciated, outstretched arms, driving them into cages. Familiar features are slits in place of eyes, nostrils, mouth. He mews sarcastically. Revivified by his trip to Limbo, he leaves in good spirits. Good work keeping the supermarket stocked with food. The megalomaniac drops a couple coins into the basket that the Grand Inquisitor makes of his red flowing frock. That was worth 2 bits. The truant, at risk of perdition, comments to his partner in crime as they strut, thumbs buckled in blue jean belt loops, out of the freak show. Now, he smacks his hands, rubs his palms together. What kind of trouble you reckon we can get into next? Trouble akin to the metaphor, a veritable smorgasbord. A banquet table 1 mile long and 1/4 mile wide, covered over every inch with bowls and serving platters containing the most mouth-wateringly succulent, savory variety of sweetmeats, buttery biscuits, steaming pies, salty French fries, vegetables in olive oil, gravies, salsas. Mine! He snaps when his pesky conscience broaches. What good is this feast if you've no one to share it with? Mine! Is all he can say with mouth stuffed full. Mluh! It will take you an eternity to finish all this food alone. In samsara, the pig escapes the snake. It takes its turn at the top of the food chain to gluttonously eat the bird. Look at that turkey juice. It thinks as it watches the knife carving the crisp skin of the 20-pounder. Your mom bakes good cookies, the psychopomp says to me across the table, munching on them contentedly. He tilts back in his chair and puts his feet up in the mud pie that I have been looking forward to eating for dessert.